Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are sharing with you the best retirement advice we got from 7 happy retirees.
Yeah, we talked to quite a few people while we were planning out this retirement journey, and a lot of them gave us some great advice. We're going to share that with you because we have implemented that into our life, and it really has made a pretty big difference for us. So let's jump right in. The first piece of advice we got was to visit the places you really want to go to as soon as possible, and don't put them off till later in life. And this we did right away. We jumped out of the gate, and as soon as we sold our house, we took 6 months and traveled the world seeing some amazing places that we'd always wanted to go to.
We did, and I'm so glad that we put some of our most wanted to see things and best experiences and places we wanted to go and experience, because even just like 6 years later, thinking back to some of those, there were some really challenging hikes involved in some of those, and just some timing things of being up really late and having to drive and all these different types of things. And I think that it's important to kind of get those in early so that, you're feeling great and you want to get those in and be able to do them and enjoy them as well physically.
Yeah, and not to mention, when we did this in the summer and fall of 2019. Our 6 months was over in December of 2019. We all know what happened a couple months after that. And so if we'd waited, we could have been waiting years to do some of this stuff, and some of it was not even the same once we were done. So you never know what's going to happen, both to you and to the world. So it's best just to jump in and do that while you have your health. You're sure you can do it. So what we did was we set aside, we generally had set out a $4,000 a month budget. But for this time period, we set aside an extra $2,000 a month and just said, we're going to spend $6,000 for 6 months. And that's just $12,000. That's just going to be gone because it's not budgeted for. But it's going to be worth it. We've been working now. We've been parents for 20 years. We've been working hard for 35 years. We deserve this. And I think we did. And we talked to our parents, and they said the same thing. Just do this because you deserve it, and you're going to want to do this. You're going to regret it if you don't do it now. And boy, were we happy we did it. Some amazing places that we went.
Absolutely. I mean, seeing the Northern Lights in Iceland, in Norway, doing some really incredible hikes in Norway, going to places like the Faroe Islands and hiking there, and just so many different experiences that even in just talking with our parents, they were like, oh, we're so glad you guys get to do that at this age because, you've got more energy, and it's just something that you're going to really enjoy the experience. Like, they were like, oh, I wish we would have done those types of things more when we were in that same age range too.
Yeah, so it is expensive because like going to places like Santorini is not cheap, but you're going to do this once. Do it, set aside 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is. Go everywhere you've ever wanted to go, and you'll be happy you did. All right, number 2 is going to be, don't just be a consumer. So when you think of retirement, you think of like, oh, I'm just going to go sit on the beach. I'm going to go sit on the golf course for the rest of my life. That's not a great idea. You want to be able to also help others. You want to do those things, but also have, some things that you're doing where you're not just totally a consumer, because that can feel a little bad after a while.
Yeah, I think it really starts to get to you because it isn't really a life that most of us are leading before we get to retirement. And then when you do get to retirement, you're just laying around on the beach and not really contributing to the, kind of culture and society that you're living in or hanging out in. And I think it really does make a difference mentally and physically for you to be able to participate in things and be able to give back to the community that you're sharing at the time.
All right, number 3 is the big one. Get rid of as much stuff as you can early on. And, for us, that meant we basically sold everything, almost everything. We did keep a storage unit, which was a mistake. We've gone over that in some other videos, but we should have sold even more than we did sell. But the more you're tied to possessions, the more you're tied to things, the more stress it's going to bring to you, and the more complications you're going to have in anything that you try to do. So sell as much as you can, get rid of it, downsize, become a minimalist, and with the knowledge that you're getting money for that stuff, and you can always buy it back if you want it.
Exactly, and that's the thing is it's better to just, as they say, rip the band-aid off and just get rid of all of it at once than to hang on to a few things like we did. We're like, oh well, what if we come back? And you can, like Rob said, you can always buy the stuff back, and actually better stuff, and usually at even a better price than what you paid originally for the item. So don't let that kind of stress you out. And as far as, like, sentimental things, there's a lot of things that you can do about that. We have other videos about, that process here on the channel, so make sure to check those out. But definitely don't let things hold you back. Get rid of as much as you possibly can and hang on to as little as you can, because that's really going to set you on a much better path.
The next piece of advice we got was to find some relevance early in your retirement years. And that's one of the reasons that we started this YouTube channel, is why we have other channels, is because it gave us a purpose to do some things and to share some things with people. Maybe we can help some people along the way. And it really gave us, sometimes a reason to do some things that we might not have otherwise done.
Exactly. It could be something related to the field that you were in, or it could be something completely different, like what we're doing. But just find something that is going to give you that relevance and kind of that feeling of, okay, I'm significant here.
Yeah, because we do run into a lot of retirees who don't have any relevance in their life, and it's painfully obvious that that's the case, because they're looking for validation from everyone around them, and it just isn't there, because there isn't a lot of validation at that stage of life. So if that's something that you need, you're going to have to find something to do to get that, and that could be through volunteering, that could be through helping out different places, starting a business, starting a YouTube channel. All good hobbies, all good ways to find some relevance, something to keep you occupied, keep your brain moving while you are retired.
Yeah, I mean, one of the people that shared with us, was in vision and optometry, and one of the things that they try to do everywhere that they go is volunteer at, like, an eye clinic or a vision clinic, and do those types of things. So like I said, it could be something related to what you did before, or it could be something just completely new and different.
All right, the next one is don't let others dictate your plans. And this kind of has to do with going places or being places or doing things that you think other people might find cool, because you're trying to show them that, we're doing all this cool stuff out here. At the end of the day, nobody cares what we're doing. People don't care. They may care a little, but they don't care nearly as much as you think they're going to care. And so you need to do the things that you want to do. And we see a lot of people doing things like, well, I'm going to get this. Actually talking to people privately, they say, well, I did this and nobody seemed to care. We hear that a lot. Like, nobody cared. Nobody came to visit me. Nobody did this. At the end of the day, people are busy. And they're leading their life. And you're leading your life. And we go places all the time. Like, we'll tell people, hey, we're going to Japan next month. And we'll get messages, how's South Korea? Well, that's probably good, but we're in Japan. So, they like you, they love you, they're not following your day-to-day, minute-to-minute movements. A lot of times they won't even know where you are or what you're doing, even though you tell them many, many times. So don't be disillusioned that everybody is going to be hanging on every single thing that you do.
Exactly. It's a really challenging way to live and to travel, and it's especially when you're picking places because you think it will do something for somebody else, or somebody else will think it's cool, or they'll love it, or you'll get praised for going to X place. It's better to just pick the places that you think you will enjoy, or that you think you can contribute to, or that you have been on your list for a long time, and not just places but also experiences. So it isn't so much about, oh, I gotta go to every single country and I have to go to every single continent, and those types of things. That's all well and good, but there has to be more reason behind it, or you're just not going to enjoy it. And what's the point of going someplace you're not going to enjoy?
All right, number 6 piece of advice that we got is to take the initiative to go visit the people that you care about. Because you're retired, you have time, you have the ability to travel, you can go see them. They can't, and they're not likely to come see you where you are, even if it's a cool place, kind of like we mentioned. They just aren't able to do that. So you're going to have to carve out time to go visit people, and we usually set aside at least a month every year that we're staying in homes of people that we know, because that just allows us extra time with them, and it's something that we like to do.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just one of those things that it's like it's a more it's a deeper experience because you're with them, staying with them. So you're with them from sun up to sundown kind of thing, and you get to have lots of different experiences in more of a living situation with them when you're visiting, and it's more concentrated, and it feels like it's a better connection when you get the opportunity to do that.
All right, the 7th piece of advice was to find places where you can live at the quality you want, but still below your means. And that was a big one for us because we had a lifestyle that we were living in the U.S. and we didn't really want to gear that down too much, but we also wanted to stay below our means in retirement. And so that's kind of a tough equation for a lot of people. So you have to find those places. You don't want to be picking places where, in order to keep your same lifestyle, the lifestyle you want, you're having to live above your means. So research those early. There's a lot of videos. We have some on the channel of inexpensive places to retire, give you kind of a ballpark idea of what the budgets are. But that's a big one.
Yeah, definitely a huge one. And those are the places where you're going to spend a longer amount of time. In the places where it's going to be a little bit more above your means, you're not going to spend as much time there. It's going to be more like vacations to some of those places as opposed to going and staying, in Switzerland for 2 months or, in Norway for 2 months or something. It's going to give you a better, like you said, quality of life experience to find places where you can live well below your means. You still be able to go and visit those places just like you did, go on vacations when you were not retired. You're still able to fit those types of things into your retired life as a whole, right?
Yeah, so that is the 7th piece of advice we got. We have put most of those into practice. It's been really good for us. I hope that you find these helpful for you as well.
Yeah, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more like this. Comment down below what you think about these. Give us a like, and we'll see you guys next time.